Hey everybody, Jamie from Red Raccoon Games here with another exciting episode of Red Raccoon Games Live. Tonight, I'm doing a little bit better than I was last week, right? So the prednisone last week was just really messing with me, and tonight it's not quite so bad. So I feel like I'm doing a little bit better. Got a few things I wanted to talk about tonight, and we're going to have a special guest that's going to join us, my friend Dawn, who owns the Game Annex in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And she's going to pop on in a little bit. She's actually, it's so different time zone, right? It's 9 p.m. there right now, and she's closing down her store, and then she's going to pop on when she gets a chance, probably 15 minutes or so. Still playing around with the new software and not sure that I know everything that's what's supposed to happen right now. I'm being handed a cat. So I know you guys love the wobbler, the wobble vision. Thank you, sweetie. Let me tilt the camera.
You can't hear anything when you do the screen, so don't do the screen.
Don't do what screen?
You had like the raccoon with the colors.
I didn't say anything.
Oh.
That's why. I learned an important lesson last week that if you can't see me on the screen, you also can't hear me on the screen. So I have to make sure that no matter what I do, I am still visible on the screen someplace. Lessons learned about using the new software. And so Wobbles, you're going to sit down. What are you doing here, dude? No, don't stand on the keyboard. We've had this happen before. Okay, so first of all, where are we at? We're on Tuesday, right? And a little early in the week, we do know that there's some new stuff coming out later in the week, and Dawn is we're gonna talk about that to find out what stuff she is interested in and bringing into her store. Maybe we'll talk about some of last week's releases as well. In terms of what's going on at Red Raccoon Games, this last weekend was free RPG day. Of course, we couldn't do it like we normally do, where the whole store is packed to the gills and everybody's having a great time talking about stuff and playing games all day, and we give away a bunch of stuff. So couldn't do that because of COVID. This year is just COVID's just screwing everything up one time after another. So what we did was we did a bunch of the games on Zoom, and then we still gave away all the free stuff. Lots of cool stuff was in the giveaway packs this year. And, those aren't free to the store, but it's worth it for us to get some promotion out of there. It's worth it to us, especially with COVID going on, to get some stuff in your guys' hands and have a good time with it. I think one of the most exciting things that was in those packs was a free sample of the Root RPG, which is something that we did back at the store, did back on Kickstarter as the store. And, we are trying to get final numbers from all of you in terms of what you're interested in with Root. Let me switch my screen around here a little bit and show you guys some stuff. So the Root RPG, of course, is based on the hit board game Root, and Root is I want to keep saying Root, right? I am Root. But I can't because it's copyrighted, and I can't say I am Root. So anyway, Root is of course based on its different races of creatures living in the forest, and it's woodland warfare. And so the different factions are at war with each other. In the board game, it's pretty cool. It's an asymmetric board game. It makes it very interesting for playing it because every faction plays completely different than every other faction. It makes it hard to teach it, though, because I can't play a faction and tell you how to help you play your faction at the same time because your faction plays differently. I can only tell you about factions I've already played myself. So lots of fun. We've actually had a really hard time keeping Root in stock. There's a couple expansions that have been out for it, and it's from Leader Games, and we really enjoy working with those guys. It has been so popular, though. Leader leased their IP to Magpie Games to make a role-playing game out of it. And in the role-playing game of it, you play as a vagabond, and that's a creature that wanders around the forest, i.e. an adventurer. And in the vagabonds, then you are trying to affect what's going on, either that in individual conflict or setting things up to avoid conflict, or it's it's mostly a theater of the mind game. And it's based on the Apocalypse system, which the Apocalypse system is a 2d6 system. Everything is you have like 5 character feats in the game, and then depending on what's going on, the GM will say, give me a dice roll and add your might. Give me a dice roll and add your cunning. Give me a dice roll and add your charm. Your numbers in the Apocalypse system, according to the root RPG, can be anywhere from a -2 to a 3. And pretty much if you score a 10 or higher, you are successful at whatever you were attempting to do. If you roll a 6 through a 9, if that's your result, you're successful, but there's complications. Something didn't go quite right. And then, of course, if you get under a 6, it's almost always a failure. So it's a pretty interesting system. We've had several games in the store that have used the Apocalypse system over time. And, so the most recent one I think we got was Masks, the rebooted version of the Masks, which is based on like the 80s video game or TV show that I remember as a kid. I just realized I can't see any comments if anybody's making it. Still fighting through that particular problem. Oop, don't play video. But how do I see you guys' comments? Oh, God. I still got to figure this part out of the system, guys, where I want to see if you guys are saying anything. Jesse knows more about the Apocalypse system, but he may or may not be on right now. Wobbles has arrived and we have begun. So, Okay, so Apocalypse system. And anyway, it looks super interested. A lot of you guys were telling me that you were really stoked about the game coming in, so we backed it on Kickstarter, and they're asking us, the pledge manner just opened, and they want us to confirm in for it. So everything for the game is listed on the RedRaccoonGames.net website right now, and is available for you to pre-order. I'll throw that over there. Publish that. So the base game is the Root RPG core book, okay? And that's going to be $40 minus your 10% off for pre-ordering. There is also a companion book that goes with it, and the companion book is called the Travelers and Outsiders book. So one's the core rule book, and one's more kind of some adventurer stuff that's going on in the game as well. One of the things that some people have been super interested in is there is a special collector's edition that we can get through the store. The core rule books you get, you will also get PDF copies of those as well. Even if you buy them through Red Raccoon Games, Leader and Magpie have been awesome. You will get PDFs of this as well. So you have the physical book and the PDF of it. This is the collector's version I'm showing right now. So special covers, you can see they did a lot of extra work, a slipcase to put them in. The regular book, the 2-book set, would normally be $80. If you want the special covers and the special versions of everything, this is more. This is a $120 set. So we might get maybe one to the store. I haven't even decided if we're going to bring any in. If you want it, any of this stuff, you can special order it right now. And just if you've got like extra cash from like COVID bonus or something, you want it, you can just pay for it on the website, or you can call us and do our traditional 10% down on a pre-order, and we will get that ordered in for you. Then you pay the remaining balance when you pay it off. No matter what, it's 10% off because it's a pre-order, okay? There's some extra stuff that goes with it. If you want, there's a Game Master's, like a GM screen. There's a couple of decks of cards. One's an equipment deck. That is exactly what it sounds like. It gives you all the stats for your equipment. One is the Denizen deck, and the Denizen deck gives you creatures. It's kind of like a card-based version of the Monster Manual. So that's what the Denizen deck is doing there. And then there's also a special set of dice. Did I grab a picture of the die? Let me grab a picture of the die. First of all, this is a 2d6 system, which means that you 100% absolutely positive only need a pair of d6s to play this game. However, they did make some special die that I know at least one of our customers is already super excited about. And so I'll show you those. They're D6s with the characters from Root on there. And so they look super cool. And They're $14. Well, no, I'm sorry, they're $20 for 7 sets, one pair for each of the creatures. So these are available too. We probably aren't going to have very many in the store, but they are available if you want to pre-order them. So I'm super excited. We've been looking forward. The guys at Leader Games have been cool partners to work with, and so I'm super excited about this overall. But I'm not going to belabor the point because I think Jeff read the book and he was super stoked about it as well. And so that's available for pre-order. It's probably a few days you have to get your pre-orders in. Okay, I see Dawn just joined us, and she's getting ready here, and I'm going to bring her on the camera right now. Hi, Dawn.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me know if you get any feedback. Jesse got a little feedback last time, and I don't know if it's coming through on your side or not.
I'm hearing an echo, but if you don't hear it, it's no big deal.
Yeah, I don't hear it. I'm sorry. Is it bad? Okay.
No,
I can't.
it's just,
I don't.
you kind of hear, I think what it is I hear myself from your screen.
Okay. I probably should have put my headset on. I wonder if I can switch audio live in the middle of this.
Don't worry about it. I'm not bothered by it.
Okay. Listen, anybody watching right now, are you hearing any feedback? Okay, so they're saying they hear it too. I wonder if I can just pump on some headphones here real fast without screwing all this up. Let's see here.
I was cleaning my office when you asked me if I would do this. Look, this is...
You're checking your hair in the camera?
No, I'm like, this is work hair I got going on.
Okay, can everybody still hear me?
I hear you.
Okay,
and
so
I don't hear feedback.
Hey, that worked. Well, I plugged in my headphones and it instantly changed the feed. So Dawn and I were actually talking about this Stage 10 software that we've been using just the other night because the Game Annex, you guys do all kinds of awesome stuff on your Facebook page as well.
Yeah,
and I've been super impressed with your Board at Home series that you guys have been doing, which is just hanging out and playing games on camera with everybody.
It is. Yep.
Lots of fun.
It is. It's funny. I tell this story now all the time. When we were shut down, like full shutdown, it was so depressing. Like I was trying to, you knew that your customers needed it and they were so thankful for it, but it was really hard to pretend like we were okay, right? Like we needed to be okay, but it was really hard to do during shutdown. But now that shutdown's kind of over, it's better. It's fun.
Good. Well, I think we're trying to figure out how do we steal that idea. So it's just a matter of time, right? And it's everything anymore is so much time and so much running around like crazy, trying to figure out how to make the best use of all the time or the limited amount of time we have.
Yeah. We were talking about that today because people, the joke is people say, well, you're a game store owner. You just play games all day, right? And we joke in our circles because we know that's not true. So, but one of the things that has proven difficult is we're the buyer. We're, a lot of times the bill payers. We're all the things and trying to squeeze out that time. But I've realized it's important. It's probably one of the most important times that I have. The hard part right now is during coronavirus, how do we do it safely, right? Because we want to have people do it. But if we're taking some of the advice, I think, that they're giving us with the CDC, having bubbles, your bubbles of people that you can be around and kind of moving that forward. We're trying to do it with people that we've bubbled with, right? Like that we know where they've been.
No, that totally makes sense. I mean, we do the same thing at the store, right? I spend so much time around Jesse and Jeff and Brittany and Jenna. Well, at least till Jenna went to National Guard summer camp, and Jillian and everything, that we're like our own bubble right there, that we're around each other all the time. I got random wobbles here floating through my space here.
I love it.
Yeah, dude, you're shedding everywhere. So yeah, we spend so much time with them that we're comfortable where we've been and who we're spending time with and everything.
Yep.
The challenge, of course, is, when we're working with customers, we love seeing everybody, but we don't know where everybody's been. So then that's super cleaning and stereo, people's hands are getting chapped from sanitizing over and over again and washing your hands so much. And but we're still all trying to have fun. We've been doing these lives videos like 2 times a week since March, I think, since we got shut down,
Right.
just so people can hear what we're doing. But
Yeah,
now we
I've
want to
watched,
play games.
I know. I've watched you a couple times and snuck in, remember?
You did. You were stealthy. Yeah, and I've watched some of your games and you shouted at moves at people and stuff that they should be making. So it's fun.
It is
So
fun. It started with, we started doing we have a more adult um, customer base at the store. So we would just put that it wasn't safe for work, but we would do those trivia nights and drinking, you got to make sure people know that's happening. Um, but that made it easier for us. And then we could do more of the board at home series. And some people were like, it's funny, you guys don't really know the rules all that well. And I'm like, right, because we're playing it the way we would play it at home at our table. We're not doing this big, and this is how we play the game. We just want to sit down and play so we can give our customers what they experience in their home. The fighting with my husband, the, my kids acting up and me yelling at them, whatever, just like at home. Uh, but we just wanted it to be more normal, right? Not scripted.
yeah, well, and even how many times do we all have to drag out the rule book for clarification on something that happens only once or twice a game? Like, wait, how
Ever,
are we
right?
supposed to do that?
Yeah.
That's fun. Now, the game annex. So I was at your old location, and Kelly and I got a chance to visit it a couple years ago. But you guys
Yeah.
moved to a big, beautiful new building. Is it exciting?
Well, it was in January and February.
Well, so that's a really good point. Yeah, you guys moved just in time for everything to get shut down. So yeah, bad
Yeah.
timing.
It was really bad timing. And it was funny too because we were telling people we're doubling down on the events. Like we're doubling down on events. We want this big glorious space. We have a huge D&D group. Um, we were running 7 tables on Wednesdays,
Wow.
um, 5 on Monday, 2 on Tuesday, and hit and miss on the weekends. So we have a lot of D&D. And I don't know what you guys do. My dogs,
It's
sorry.
okay.
We are we charge for our games, our spaces. And I don't think you guys do, right? You guys just have open gaming for everything.
No, it depends on the system.
Okay.
So D&D is one of the things that does have a charge, but the fees go as store credit to whoever the GM is. That's how we've been able to, we were having a problem originally where we couldn't get anybody to volunteer their time to be the GM because it's a lot of work. It's a lot
Yeah.
of prep time if you're going to run a good table. I know that when I run my personal table, I've got 3 or 4 hours of prep to play a 3 or 4
Yeah.
hour game.
Yeah.
So those people get rewarded for running stuff at the store. And that's where whatever fees people pay goes to them as store credit.
So
And
we just charge because you're renting the room.
yes,
And that way we'll talk about that later. But we just rent the room and then we do give gifts. If people are around for like 6 months, we'll give them just a book or, do different things.
well, we have been looking, and everybody that's watching this knows that we have been looking for something bigger because we're just out of space. Much like your old store, you were stuffed to the gills in there, and we are just out of space. Every group could grow bigger if we could
How
give them
big,
more room.
how big is your space? I forget.
There's about 2,000 square feet of retail and about 1,200 usable feet of space in the basement for our game room. And then there's storage that's like stuffed under the stairwell. But It's only 5.5 foot tall, so most of the guys whack their heads on a
You
pipe once or
cannot
twice
fit
a
in
year.
there.
No, I can only go in there if I stand between the rafters and line myself up perfectly in the rafters. So carrying heavy stuff in and out of there is definitely an issue. And so everybody knows we've been looking for a bigger place. And if we got him covered in cat fur now, can you guys see this just rolling off of me here? He's just
Can you
shedding
hear
everywhere.
Can you hear my bulldog in the background? It
I don't
sounds
hear
like
him.
they're snoring in the back. Colonel Mustard is like,
Your bulldog is named Colonel Mustard. That's awesome. We're probably going to have to go to a model where we charge, because to have a big room and be able to do
Yep.
those events, and we want to do things like lockers for storage, so people don't have to bring all their 40K minis home every week and bring them back. And
I
we
wanted
have
to do that.
we have ambitious plans. Who knows what? It all depends on the space and the price, right?
Yeah, we talked about locker space too. And then it's funny. So John Coviello, Jamie and I's friend that has a store in Las Vegas, he moved into this big space in Las Vegas. Did you go when we were at Gamma the first year? Did you go to his space?
No, because I missed my planes. I missed a flight because I got into Dallas super late and missed a flight and had to wait till the next day to catch a plane to get there.
Okay, that's fair. So he moved into this beautiful place and he had private gaming room before we were all even talking about it being cool. And it was a really great space. And he kept saying, Dawn, the minute you get in your new space, you're going to think I need a bigger boat. And when we were moving in, I was like, this doesn't feel that much bigger than our other space. And my husband's like, it is twice the size, woman. Stop saying that. But it was true. I quickly felt like I needed a bigger boat. But we also only charge to cover the rent. We do not make money on it, even though we charge. It's just so that my players have a nice space to be in.
No, that's 100% what we would do too. The same thing. It's just the cost of a square foot is more money than any of us likes, right? So
Are you thinking downtown still?
if I can find the right space, I would
Yeah,
love to. I'm a downtown guy, and I love
I
the
know
architecture.
in your
There's
storefronts.
I know it's awesome. Well, and a lot
I
of it
could
is
actually do storefronts now, but we'll
that's
see.
good. How big is your new space? You don't know? You don't
Scott,
want to say.
yes, I do. Scott's back there laughing. The
Hi, Scott.
the the retail. He's working on our fish tank. There. Our retail space is 9,000.
Wow.
That's our retail and that gaming area that's going to be the bar. So we want to do beer and wine. We're hoping. Um, so the whole reason why we did the rebranding with Wits and Wander, home of the game annex, is because we want that to be like an entertainment complex. We have some surprise things that we're going to be doing, but we have the VR in there. We have the Wander Inn will be the bar. Then
That's awesome.
and then, yeah, it's pretty cool. And then the retail space. And then on top of that, we have 3,000 square feet up top, the offices. The D&D area is like 2,500, 3,000 square feet. And then it's 13,000 altogether. We have warehouse space, the retail space, and the offices that are just our D&D rooms. We did forego the tavern that we had. Remember, we had that tavern?
Yeah, that was cool.
It was awesome, but it didn't really bring in extra money or extra people. So it just was something for people to look at. But when they rented a room, they always rented the cheaper room. So we just have foregone, we've just passed it for right now. And we might bring it back later. We'll see.
Well, and this is why now I know you do this, but Kelly and I do this, and I think a lot of people that are watching do this. Whenever we travel, we go see like every game store around, right? Just to check out who has amazing ideas. And Kelly and I were totally planning on coming to see your new space this year at Origins, but Origins is canceled. So it's probably going to be next year.
And you could have saw us at Alliance
Alliance
Open House, but
canceled.
womp womp womp.
Yeah, we were going to do that too. And yeah, so
I miss Kelly. Tell her I said hello.
okay, I certainly will. She's probably watching. She yells at me about petting wobbles. But he decided he'd had enough and he headed off already. Do you want to talk
You
about some?
shouldn't. You're like Austin Power or Dr. Evil with what's Mr. Bigglesworth or whatever that cat's name is. Do you remember Austin
Wait,
Powers?
yeah, totally. I'm sorry. I just clicked on something and all of a sudden I was listening to our broadcast like a 50-second delay at the same time. And yeah, I paused that again. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Yeah, petting him, the big white fluffy Persian cat that he had. Yes. Yeah, except for he doesn't stay. He gets like warm and then he heads out. So, do
It's fair.
you want to talk about some games from last week and this week?
Sure. What do you want to talk about? I don't know about you guys, but Scooby Doo Betrayal has been knocking it out of the ballpark for us.
It's amazing. It's so fun. And I saw you just did a board at home with it too, didn't you?
We did, but I have to tell you a funny story. When we
Okay.
did that, Scott was very disappointed because he lost very quickly. And we realized, just like Widow's Walk, there are some mistakes in the books. So you have to be careful about that because the adventure we did, it didn't tell you where you had to put the puddles that made the bad guys stronger. And so we were waiting for the puddles just to come appear. And he was trying to figure out where the puddles go. So there are some like, I don't know, we played it, but we didn't get to show it to its best ability because the book is wrong.
Well, that happens. I mean, errata, right? It's you just have to wait for the day one DLC to come out so that you can correct that issue.
That is correct.
I was going to drag
Let's
a
see.
picture of it up here real quick.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because you
look
can
at
click play. Yeah, there you
yeah.
go.
Yeah, so and it's been doing really well at the store too. I think we ordered 36 copies of it, which is a huge amount for us, and it's been selling pretty fast. It's doing really
I
well
think
as well.
I think I ordered the same amount. I'm trying to do math in my head and I'm not doing very good. 40. I ordered 40. So I slammed through 16 the first week that I got from distributor A, and distributor B I got 24 from, and they just showed up today when I was selling my very last one of my first 16. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was great. Of course, Indomitus was huge for us. How about you guys?
Same. We're
Yeah,
out. Well,
same.
everything we have hasn't been picked up yet, but it's all pre-ordered and spoken for, and we're hoping. I tried to order some from various non-GW distributors, and we got 5 from ACD last week, which got us to 50, but those are gone. And we're hoping that somebody might sneak us in a couple this week, but we won't know until they show up.
I'm the idiot that only went with 30 and regretted my life.
Well, and of course, we have friends like John and Dave Finn and down in Atlanta and stuff that went through hundreds and hundreds of copies. But Las Vegas and Atlanta are a little bit bigger market than we are.
Same, samesies over here in Fort Wayne. Fort
Well, you
Wayne,
guys are bigger
Indiana.
than us too, right? Aren't you guys about 300,000?
250.
Okay, so we're about 150 if you take Bloomington Normal together.
Yeah.
So
Well, we're 250 if you take the whole county, right, Scott? I think we're 250 with the whole county. So that would be New Haven, Fort Wayne, Garrett, not Garrett, Grable, all the counties, I think. Or maybe Fort Wayne is 250 by itself.
yeah,
I can't, something.
but
I don't
it's
know.
not 5.5 million.
No, no. No, nope, nope. So yeah, so we only did 30 because I was kind of nervous because Games Workshop opened up in our town this year, and they actually opened up in our parking lot of our old store. Like I could throw a stone at them, which I thought was pretty womp womp womp. So I wasn't sure how well it would do because they had a Games Workshop store. But we did just fine. I guess we had more than they had, and we sold through them, so I'm happy.
It sounds like they actually pulled stuff away from the Games Workshop stores to give to the trade stores, the hobby stores like us.
So
And
that's the rumor, but that's not what really happened, but that's okay.
okay, well, we give the Games Workshop the benefit of the doubt. They got us all a lot of stuff.
They did. No, I mean, I think the stores, people don't realize the stores are actually separate from the trade. It's a separate entity. So the stores are owned by Games Workshop, but they're not affiliated with the trade that we go through.
Gotcha.
So we got bigger numbers. We had bigger numbers than they were getting. I think they all got like 23 copies each. So,
Okay.
well, depending on your market, some of the bigger ones like David's store got more, but
Okay.
Dawn
you
knows
see?
these things only because she's on the board.
Yes. Well, Dawn has been the chairman of the retailer board for the Gamma Trade Association for 2 years now. 3 years? 2 years.
It's 3 now.
Okay. And you've done an
This is
amazing
my
job.
3rd year.
We are all very proud of the work that you've done. And we are all very
Thank
happy
you.
that you have to do it, not us. Did you see
Right.
this today? The Curse of Strahd got announced that they're doing a revamped version of it. Now, probably a big chunk of this game, Wizards of the Coast announced maybe 2 weeks ago that they were going to do a revamped version of this because, well, it's gypsies. The word gypsies is in it a lot. They're a featured, they're a featured part of the story. And there is a lot of people that think that consider gypsy to be a racially insensitive word would be the easiest way to do it. The correct term to use is the Roma people. And so they announced they were going to redo the book, but instead of just coming out with a reprint, they went big.
They went real big.
Yeah, this is the new box set that's coming out. And when Jesse and I first saw it, I said, Jesse, please tell me it's going to be out for Halloween. If they didn't do this for Halloween, somebody in marketing failed. And it's coming out October 20th.
Yeah.
So you get the revamped book. You get a separate, almost like monster manual book called Creatures of Horror. You get a third book that just tells you how to read the Taroka deck, which is a modified tarot deck. And then you get extra maps and a GM screen and everything in this really awesome, if you guys can't see it, this really
like
awesome coffin box. It's pretty amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so we're super stoked. This is something that's available for pre-order at every hobby store in America probably today, or anybody who's paying attention. Have you ever played Curse of Strahd?
I started with Death House when we did Adventurers League, like the lead in, and my group was supposed to play it, and we fell out of time, and I had other groups that I was playing in. I've always wanted to go back and play it. It's one of the only ones I haven't played. I've played Tyranny, I've played Out of the Abyss, Prince of the Apocalypse, Tomb of Annihilation, Storm King's Thunder. What's the Yawning Portal?
Oh yeah.
And right now we're in Ghost Marsh, Salt Marsh, and I love it. We're having so much fun.
My group we're doing Dungeons of the Mad Mage right now.
I haven't done that one yet, but people love that campaign.
It's a old school hack and slash. It is literally just a straight up dungeon crawl of crawling around and going level by level and seeing what you run into as you go through the dungeon. And it's a lot of fun to run. And because as the characters are going up levels, I keep just throwing bigger stuff at them. And we had a scenario that they ran into a room, they weren't paying attention, and a zombie beholder pops out from behind a wall and shoots one of his eye stalks at one of the characters. And I said, okay, give me a constitution check for half damage. He made it. And I said, okay, take 42 points of damage. She's like, I thought you said half damage. I'm like, that was half damage. So it's a lot of fun. It's a ton of fun. And we're having a great time with it too.
That does not sound like my kind of campaign. When we were doing Yawning Portal, they have what is that really famous dungeon that's like one of the hardest ones in D&D?
The Undermountain.
What?
The Undermountain.
Yes.
That's what the Dungeon of
So,
the Mad Mage is. The Yawning Portal is the entrance to the Undermountain.
yes. And so we're in this stupid port in this dungeon in this one little cavern literally for 6 months. And I looked at my GM and I said, if you do not get me out of this maze, I don't know if I can handle it. I'm like sweaty thinking about it. Like I just need out. But that's what I love about D&D. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. We're getting ready to launch doing Learn to Play Dungeons and Dragons class online. We were going to do them in May, June, and then Illinois started reopening. And so then we were getting ready to launch them in June, and then stuff started going sideways again, and we stopped doing events again. So now we're going to go back to doing them online, and if everybody's listening, we should have those posted hopefully for next week. Okay, here's a fun one for you.
Okay.
Have you seen this game? It's supposed to come out this week.
No.
The
Where did you
Footloose-
find this?
It's available. It's part of this whole series. I think it's from USAopoly.
No way.
Oh, it's Funko.
I was like, there's no way.
Yeah,
Are you ordering Funko directly?
not normally because there's stuff that we want to just mess around with that we don't want to buy an entire case of.
Right.
And so it depends, like the Funko Verse games, we did good with those and people have a lot of fun with those with the little teeny tiny pops.
Yeah. We
And
do
it's
really good with
It's a pretty fun game. And those ones we did go direct with them.
Oh my gosh, there's boots and
There's
shoes
boots.
like warmers.
And
How did I miss this?
you're playing as the rebellious teens dancing against the small town's no dancing law. Cut loose around Beaumont from the drive-in diner and the old mill to the honky tonk, pushing your luck to game points.
Cause I gotta cut loose, foot loose. Kick
Score
back.
bonuses by winning the tractor chicken face-off or dance off at the prom.
Look at Willie. I just think about Willie at that tractor. How did I miss this? I'm gonna go order it right now.
It was one of the more ridiculous things coming out this week because we got the Shining board game, we got the Friday the 13th one coming out, Jaws, Die Hard, all come out as board games.
You know what? You're gonna have to message me which distributor you got that from.
GTS, I'll just tell you.
Okay, because like seriously, I was looking at some of the other ones and it wasn't on there. But GTS is taking a risk on a lot of some of our other ones are going to have to start taking a risk on some of those games too because they don't have enough to fill up their catalog anymore.
Yeah, it's been a crazy year. What Dawn's talking about is we're starting to see more exclusives happening again, and none of us as game stores are fans of exclusives. But it's just how things work, and there's nothing we can really do about it. I was trying to pull up another game, and I can't find a good picture of it to tell. The other one that I was looking forward to, did you guys bring in Similo?
No.
It's it's a pretty simple game, and we had it out on a demo table, and people really enjoyed it. And it's basically a game where one person is giving clues to everybody else, and you're trying to zero in on who you're looking for. And why can't I find a good picture of this game? You're trying to give them clues to help them identify which character that you're talking about. So you could do male, female, you can do old, young, and you're trying to give these clues, but you're only allowed to give kind of like code names where you can only give one word clues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all pictures on the cards, but then on the side of every card, there's a bunch of details about what the cards are. And this is a super vague description, and I'm trying to find anything that will help me show you this. And there's a new version coming out, and that looks crazy colored. It did not look that way. There's a new version coming out. The first version was mythology. Then there was one that was all around um, historical figures that we had a ton of fun with. And
So
now
history,
this,
myths, and fables.
yes, yeah, the
And it's
Fables
a
one,
$10 game.
and it was super fun. It was a super casual, easy to learn, easy to relax with game that we just had it on the demo table, and I'd show people how to play it in just 2 or 3 minutes. Here's a better
Oh, it's
picture of the
Luma.
box, and everybody
Yeah.
had a good time with it.
hmm No, the Luma game that we sell a ton of that they can't get enough of is Draftosaurus.
Really, we didn't do very good with that one.
Did you demo it?
No,
I
there's
mean,
only so many demo
seriously?
tables.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what though. I'm gonna do a board at home because we just got some in,
Okay,
and Katie and I both love it. So we're gonna play it, and then you can spy it.
okay,
Super
I can
easy,
totally do that one.
cute. All the Jurassic Park fans out there that don't want to go into Dinosaur Island because it's 25 hours to set up and then 3 to play.
Yes, that's
Great
very true.
game. Great game. But yeah. Yeah. Jamie, what's your all-time favorite game that you played this year though?
This year, oh
Yeah, like
man,
this past year.
God, I played so much Space Base last year with the expansions. I
I
love
did
Space
love Space
Base.
Base. hmm
I played a ton of Point Salad because it's so easy to teach everybody.
It is. It's not
Yeah,
my favorite though.
I like tile laying games, and I like point games where there's a ton of points that you can do. So
Yeah.
played a ton of that. Um,
It's easy to teach and it's a good beer and pretzel game.
yeah,
Like you can just
Illusion,
chat. Which one?
Illusion
Yeah.
from is that
Pandasaurus.
Pandasaurus? Yeah,
Yeah.
ton of Illusion. Silver and Gold I played a lot of. It's a roll and write.
I love silver and gold. Love it.
Yeah, we do bar nights with 8-bit. Is 8-bit's a beercade near us? One of those places where all the video games are free as long as
hmm
you're buying beer. And we go down there once a month normally, and we set up and we take a bunch of party games with us. And
Yeah.
Illusion and Point Salad are both really popular. Silver and Gold. What else? I'm trying to think.
I played a ton of Tiny Towns.
Oh, I love Tiny Towns.
Played a ton of Quacks of Quedlinburg. I love that game.
I've never gotten a chance to play because we can't keep it in stock. We just
I
keep
know
every.
that's how I was, but I got a damaged copy
Mm,
and I had to return it and take it back. So I was like, winning.
yeah,
So I love Quacks of Quedlinburg. So good. So good.
we're getting more in this
But
week. It's finally a restock is supposed to be coming this week through all
have
the
you done
distributors.
well with this game?
I can't. Is that Detective?
It is.
I have no. We've done well with it, but I haven't played it.
I'm going to tell you about it. I'm going to tell all your friends at home about it
Okay.
because it is one of my favorite things in my life. If you have that person that comes into your store and they're like, I don't really know what I want, I don't really play games, I ask this question. Do you like Criminal Minds? Do you like to watch TV? Do you like Criminal Minds? Do you like CSI? And if they're like, yes, I love that, I'm like, let me show you this little baby here. And the reason I love it is because, so what Portal has done is they have built this website that you go to. Now, I know we're all saying, like, I don't want a board game that's, I'm going to pull it off here so you can see. I know nobody wants, oh my gosh, I just did the worst game store owner ever. Look, Detective, it's upside down. What am I doing with my life? And now I have to fix it because it's driving me bonkers. So I know that people do not want to have a board game and then like an online game, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to change your mind. Here's the deal. If you play this game, it is historical fiction, first of all. They have a website that you go to and it records all your progress. So if I interview somebody or I take an ashtray to crime scene and I get a partial print, it puts my partial fingerprints in this database. And I feel like I am in Quantico when I play this game. And the board game part of it is you have to manage the board. So let me see if I can get okay, there we go. So you have to manage the board and you have to manage your time with the board. There's only 8 hours in the day for a detective, so they have to manage their time, okay? If you go to Quantico or you go to the police station, it may take you X amount of hours. If you go into overtime, it depletes you. But what's super, super cool about this game is you have to use outside knowledge. So if you're in game 3 and 4, you're like, is that possible? Can I get to this place and this place in 3 hours by foot? So you use the Googs, you use the Google, and everybody's participating because I might be chasing one rabbit hole and you're thinking about another one. And your entire group gets so into it that you're like, oh my gosh, this happened. And the cool thing is they take real life things and bring that into the storyline. And it might be, well, I'll just tell you, in this one, you're looking at World War II. So you're checking out things about World War II and trying to find like correlations, and then it gives you hunches, and you're just put in the middle of it. It is an amazing game. Like I can't even, there's not enough good words for me to say about that game. The only good thing I can say, or the only bad thing I have to say, is my family stinks and we're only on case number 3 and I want to get through this. Well, what happened was I was playing it with a group of my friends and then quarantine happened. So we knew we couldn't happen. So we're playing different storylines with my family. And now they're coming out with the Rob Davio version. He has like a one-off. And for those of you that don't know, Rob Davio did Pandemic Legacy. He's very famous for legacy games, among other great games. And he's going to do a complete legacy version called Detective Season 0 or Season 1, something. So.
Well, they're doing a Pandemic Season 0.
I was wrong.
This is different than that?
Detective Season 1.
Okay.
But they're doing like a legacy season thing like they did with the others. So
now, how do you feel about Chronicles of Crime? Because they came out about the same time. They did. They're both a little bit of stuff you've got to do on a phone or a computer. And Chronicles of Crime uses your cell phone aimed at the cards to give you an augmented reality scenario so you can see more detail about what's going on than you would just looking at the card.
It was really good. I like it. But if you want to feel like you're in crime scene, this is different. This is more real. That's very cartoony, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, it is.
It's artwork cartoony, and this is like real. So for all those people those women or men or whomever, now we may have cheated because we played with my husband who is a detective. We still didn't do all that great if we're being honest, and he's really good at his job. So it's still a game.
Well, it's designed to be hard. It's not designed to give it away.
No, it's not. But the database, the website itself is just cool. It's Antares is what it's called. You're working for Antares. It's a government agency, and it's your version of the FBI, but you actually go to the FBI, and they have to do something, like Deep Six or whatever. I don't know all the secret things.
My friend Chris is watching our stream right now, and we've been playing board games sitting out in his backyard, right, to keep air around us. We sit out in the yard, and he just got excited and tagged his wife into the post. So I think that Detective might be in my future pretty near term.
It's so good.
Yeah. This Saturday, we're getting together to play Island of El Dorado. Have you tried that one out?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a better version of Settlers of Catan.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty excited. Well, yeah. I mean, that's why Settlers of Catan is such a great game, is anybody can learn it.
Well, right. And it brings that thing that everybody likes about, American games, right? You have a little bit of randomness, you have that familiarity, but you also have these Euro stylings that kind of ease people in. So it's a great game, and I'm glad people get excited about it. But when people come into my store and say, I like Catan, I'm like, well, okay, that's like 4 games in one. What do you like about it? It's random, it's long, it's Euro. But Detective, you're going to love it. It's going to be fun.
Okay, I will.
But I have to
I'll get
warn
that
you
put on
guys.
our list.
I do have to warn you guys though. It there is a moment between, I think it's like the first game you play, you're excited, you're really in it. Game 2 and 3 feels like it stretches it out, and it's like at campaign 4 is where it really hits the pinnacle of what detective can be. So kick through 2 and 3 before you give up, and they all interlock. So that first box, it's all one story. You're solving one crime in the first thing, but it's all snowballing.
Okay.
So there's kind of like Letters from Whitechapel, where in round 1 and 2 you're really excited, and by 3 and 4 you're like, they're never going to catch this guy, and then all of a sudden in the fourth you've caught him, right? It's kind of got that like catch up feel. They're teaching you about the game in campaigns like 1 through 3. So you have to be able to push through that. And then it's all bets are off. You're just in it. You're like,
Now is
we are
that
not going home until we solve this.
is so? Are you? Is this makes your list of like top games of the last year? Then you asked me
Yeah,
what
but
mine were.
I think it's 2 years ago. Like, right? Like I think Detective came out not last Gen Con, but the Gen Con before.
Yeah, it was
But
2018.
I don't think it hit its stride for me because I didn't get to play it till late. It couldn't get it very well. But yeah, it definitely was on my top.
Now your
Yeah.
store is probably like my store, that we sell the most of whatever whatever we have played and we get super excited about.
Yeah. I think you and our stores are very symbiotic in the fact that I think yours is more of a family store than mine is, but mine, people think it's a family store, but we're really a lot more adults. So,
We do
and
get a lot of kids.
we're very board gamey.
Yeah, we
Very
are.
board.
We're heavy board game too, very much so, especially compared to most of the other stores in at least in Central Illinois, if not all of Illinois.
Yeah, I mean,
Where
I don't even do Magic.
oh well, we do Magic. That's
I mean,
because half my staff is addicted to it. So
that's not fair. I kind of do Magic, but I don't really sell singles. I do a lot of like, we do it for fun, not for competitive. I know some people say competitive is fun, but we don't do very much competitive. Let me see what else is in my top. I'm trying to look. I think there's going to be a theme here because I really like the Sherlock Holmes consulting detectives. But that is not for everyone because
yeah.
where detective is fast paced and fun because you get to use Google, you have to really like reading and really thinking, and it's slower. Like consulting detective is just slow and there's no board. It's just mystery.
Okay. I see Santa Monica up there. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed Santa Monica a lot.
Yeah, I did too. Scott didn't as much as I did, but I really like it. But he's also not a board gamer. He's a mini guy. So board games have to really like knock it out of the park. And he liked Detective. I mean, Steam Park is one of my like just go-to fun people. Hey, I need that on, sir.
Turn off the
I
lights
don't.
on you.
He is. I'm like, it ain't bedtime for me. Santa Monica was great. But I love that kind of like abstract tile placement sort of thing, right? Like you're placing down your cards, but you have to be really paying attention to what everyone's doing.
And
This,
the thing I liked about it is every time we played it, we were all pretty close together in points, no matter what approach somebody was taking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no matter when I tried to steal cards that I thought Jeff or Jesse needed, we all came out where we were within 5 or 6 points of each other. So nobody got blown out.
Right.
I just thought that was nice.
Yeah. I'm really a bad game store owner because everybody tracks their, like, a lot of people at my store track their plays,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't track my plays at all. I'm just like, oh, I played this game and it was fun. We've been playing a lot of Flying Goblins.
I have played it twice at Gamma and had fun. We need to get it back out on the demo table and just have fun with it again and get it in front of the kids and let them have fun, because we were just cackling. A bunch of adults with beers sitting around at Gamma were just cackling, laughing the entire time.
It's beer pong, if we're going to be honest, for adults. It's nerd beer pong if you want it to be like. I'm not very good at it. I lose every time. I'm not great with dexterity, but I love the game. Obviously, I've played a ton of King of Tokyo Dark because that during shutdown was our like go-to board at home if we didn't have the brain power to like think about anything. We just had like a competition within ourselves of like who was going to win. My son Alex is vicious with that game. He will just attack, attack, attack. He never wants to, I mean, he's 19, right? So, you know, and I'm always trying to win with points, and they're like, that'll never happen with Alex. And I was like, I'm just going to sit far enough away from him that I think I can do this. Well, then the second time we played, they sat him right next to me, and I still won. That time I just attacked back. So King of Tokyo Dark's got a lot of play.
And that was
Oh,
one I actually increased our pre-orders while we were at Gamma because of that game that Rob and Dee were playing, and they were just yelling so loud and having so much fun. And I was just watching them go at it. And I actually doubled our pre-orders on that one. I'm glad I did, because we would be out by now if I hadn't done that.
for
It's
Dark.
it's sitting out on the demo table. It looks beautiful, and those extra rules with the what they call that, the where you get the 3 ones, you
Wicked
move
track.
up the wicked track.
Wickedness.
That changes the whole game. It really does.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem
does.
like it should, but it really
Some
kind of changes
days
the whole
we
thing.
some days we were really mad because we couldn't get the wickedness tracker to go. Like everything else was happening and we couldn't get the wickedness tracker. I'm like, we're not leaving till somebody gets some wickedness, but yeah. So it just depends on how you play. What are you there was a Pandasaurus game, another one that we were playing a lot of. What was it? Oh, Wayfinders. I
Um,
don't think it's all that great. I just am in love with the pieces.
I, Wayfinders. I don't even remember that game.
Oh, came out the same time Silver and Gold did.
I think we totally missed it, which is, there's so many games coming out that sometimes, and I know you just started a thread on one of our Facebook groups to say, what games are you excited about coming out this week?
I
Because
did.
we're just all starting to lose track of some of the games that are out there. There's just too much
Yeah.
stuff.
Did you find Wayfinders?
Um, Let me see here.
I just found it from my. Okay, so funny story.
Oh, we got
Uh,
this in. I don't think we ever played it as a staff, right? We never played it to check it out.
well, they don't have a very good demo program for us to. So I mean, like, I just happened to get it at a show. But look at these components. Oh wait, I can't get it to it.
So it's tiles. It looks a little bit like Machi Koro style art, right?
Yeah, I mean it is. It's very bright. The pieces, the bits were really good. And that just I don't know. I just loved the artwork. It felt kind of like I mean, we brought in Tada because it was just a dumb game with amazing art. Um, and if you want a fun, laugh your butt off game for kids, if you haven't brought up Tada or brought in Tada, that's that Simon game,
Uh
and
huh.
it's just dice in a cup, and you're supposed to be the best wizards at the wizard talent show. And you're doing all this ridiculous stuff like if I get the card and I get my spell off before you do, the next time you might have to do your spell with your elbows on the table. So you're trying to roll and keep your elbows on the table. Just stupid, dumb fun. And we just laugh and act like complete idiots, but the artwork is amazing. I
All
thought I
right,
had it.
that sounds like one to take to the bar.
Oh, 100%. Because the art would be nostalgic of like the boomerang, like Hanna-Barbera artwork that, you know, even a little more so. I know Wacky Races was, it hit a good place, but the game was kind of not meh, but you play Wacky Races because you like Wacky Races, right? Like that game is not something super special, but it's super nostalgic. Tada is just such good artwork that gives you that same vibe, but then you get to play this game and it's just stupid. It's just
Let me
stupid
show
fun.
you a box and make sure I'm looking at the right one here. But yes, Wacky Racers, I 100% got myself a painted collector's version of it because I wanted it for me.
Yeah, nope, that's Tada.
Okay, we'll have to check that one out. We missed that one too, I think. So awesome.
I
Well,
might play it
hey,
on stream for you.
I asked you to join me and just talk for 15 minutes. And as is normal with you and I, it's been 45 minutes because
Because we
you're
like each
amazing.
other. You're amazing.
No, you're amazing.
No, you're amazing.
Well,
When we get at Gamma, the two of us always seem to be at the same table playing the same games.
yeah. Well, and at dinner as well, just talking about whatever random stuff that you remember as a band kid and me as a music kid. And I mean, because you've been to Bloomington Normal for competitions before.
I have. You were the one that told me you drive through Odell.
Yeah. Yeah.
How
To
far
go to my
away from
parents'
you?
house. What's that?
How far away from you is that? Like, how far away from your viewership?
40 minutes. So for anybody who doesn't know where Odell is, it's the little country farm town between Pontiac and Dwight, right on Interstate 55.
So I
And
can't tell stories then.
yeah, it's about 40 minutes. Oh yeah, people from Dwight and Pontiac come down here all the time because they either come to Bloomington or they have to go up to Joliet, and the game store in Joliet's not as good as us. Let's be honest, it's not. So
And to be fair though, Odell, I'm not mean to Odell. It was just like it was literally a circus storm of bad events. Like it's the 90s. If you march drum corps, you stay in schools on their gym floors. The water was slimy. That's not normal. Like people talk like it had a texture that just doesn't seem right. And then our practice field had a you saw my little like map of it.
yeah,
Our the back hash of the football field was a railroad track,
yeah,
and it's active. And
yeah.
so you
They
would
have to
hear the
stop when the train
horn,
comes through.
and everybody had to clear out. It was
Yeah,
the craziest thing. So Odell has memories for us.
it's just this teeny tiny farm town. There's a million of them all over Illinois and Indiana and Iowa and they're all like 6 miles apart because that's how far you could have horses pull a wagon full of grain to get to the train to sell it out. And
Yep.
so that's why all these farm towns are like the same distance apart is how far could a horse team pull a cart full of grain? That's,
Yep.
you
History
know,
lesson there. And to be fair, they were the nicest people to us.
well, that's good.
So they were nice. They were
Yeah.
awesome people. They just had slimy water.
Okay. Well, and with an awesome story about Odell for anybody who's watching, we are going to call this episode of Red Raccoon Games live over. We've been on for about an hour. Thank you so much to Dawn. She's amazing. And if you get through Fort Wayne for any reason, you have to go and stop and visit the Game Annex and see her store that is 3.5 times the size of Red Raccoon Games. And just go check it out and see how awesome it is. And you can say hi to Scott if he happens to be there hanging out. He's there a lot when he's not actually out working at the police force. So it's awesome. So Dawn, thank you very much for being my first ever guest. You're the first one.
I'm the first. I feel so special.
Yeah. So thank you. And I hope you have an awesome night, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everybody. We'll see you later.